Welcome to the Mr. Universe Meets podcast in association with the Mansformation Programme. Now, the Mansformation Programme is a 12-week programme for men that want to level up their training, nutrition, lifestyle and mindset so that they can live in a body that looks great, feels great and has unstoppable energy. On this podcast, we're going to be speaking to athletes that have reached the top of their game to understand their mindset, habits and routines and what makes them elite. I want you to take advantage of the lessons they teach and go and smash your own goals. I would love it if you guys would like, share and subscribe and enjoy the podcast. Right, Rich Cadden, welcome to my new podcast, mate. Episode 1.
Thank you very much.
It's not a bad little setup, is it? It's all right. We're doing it properly.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
Feels like Joe Rogan.
Yeah. Did you bring the weed out? Was I supposed to bring the weed out? So obviously this podcast, what I want to do, it's in conjunction with my Mansformation Programme, and I wanted to bring on guys that have been at an elite level of sport and accomplished big things, and try and distill some of the lessons that they can teach from obviously consistently smashing goals over a number of years. So obviously, for those that don't know, Rich is a two-time European champion in Thai boxing and a two-time world champion. So Rich, introduce yourself, mate, and give us a little bit about how you started on your journey into Thai boxing.
Wow, okay. So first of all, my name is Rich Cadden. I run Chuck D Martial Arts, Chuck D Academy over in Poplarton. And yeah, I do Thai boxing. I came from like a martial arts background when I was like 8, 9, 10 years old. Came through, got up to doing getting my brown belt in judo, and I did judo alongside playing rugby. I was always the little dude on the rugby pitch, and so like my judo skills kind of came in well, being able to like use someone else's energy against them and getting like using judo throws on the rugby pitch, and it kind of served me well. Came through, came through the ranks at York, all the way through the kind of under 13s, 15s, 17s academy. Then I had a 1-year contract playing professionally for York. And then when we changed from Radial York to York Knights, they cancelled all the 1-year contracts. I picked up the martial arts bug again, started getting into a couple of other different martial arts that I wanted to kind of get a feel for. I had a dabble with kickboxing and Aike Jiu-Jitsu and stuff like that, until I picked up the kickboxing deal with some of the guys over on Fifth Ave. And one day I turned up, all the mats had gone, all the bags had gone, and there was a guy there, Andy Wilby. He says, "Oh, I do Thai boxing." So I started doing. He says, "Oh, come here, let's kick some pads." And I went from the kind of kickboxing, kind of semi-contact impact type stuff into full contact Muay Thai, like full contact fighting. And yeah, as soon as I got the opportunity to unleash like full power kicks and not holding back, and like I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it. It was just that was my
passion.
Kind of found it that like this is the real deal. This is what it's all about. Yeah. So and that was my start.
Yeah.
I had a play around in with a couple of gyms in York with Andy and with Pierre Mahon, who was running Cow Lawyer up at the Barbican Centre.
That's where I first met you.
That's where we first met. And it kind of grew from there. I had a couple of fights for Pierre, and then I says, well, like I'm not really happy with kind of 2-3 fights a year. I want to be fighting every week. I want to be fighting every month. And he was like, well, I can't really deliver that, but I know a man who can. Yeah. Took me over to Bad Company over in Leeds, and the rest, as they say, is history. Richard Smith.
He came down. I remember him coming down and teaching a couple of classes at the Barbican. I mean, I was like 15, 16-year-old, I think. When, what was that? It'd be about like 97, 98, something like that, I think.
Yeah.
About 98, was it? Something like that?
A little bit earlier. Like 96, I think it was.
Oh, was it? Well, I started, I think I was about 15, so 97 for me when I was down there. I actually remember one of the times we was doing a bit of pad work together, and one of them was a front kick, and I missed the front kick. I went straight into your bollocks. And, you know what I mean? And I would never be so scared in my entire life. So I thought, oh my God, what have I done here? So, I thought maybe Thai boxing's not for me. But yeah, no, there's, like I say, a great set of guys there that you obviously learned from, with, you know, some real good fighters and some real experience there. And obviously, like you said there about the rugby, so you played for was it the Wasps you said, or the Radial York?
Radial York, as it was. Yeah. Before they turned into York Knights.
Yeah. They do a lot now with. I've just got my little lad into jiu-jitsu, but I've noticed that a lot of rugby teams now are employing jiu-jitsu coaches and stuff like that for the grappling, and they said there's that natural crossover really between the two.
So I've done a bit of work with York Knights ladies, and done some like wrestling technique with those girls. So it was that was an experience.
Well, they're flying now at the moment, aren't they?
Well, so I'm on fire.
They're also taking heed of what you were teaching.
Well, there's
all these little bits though that come together to, you know, obviously like I say, I do the strength conditioning down at the Acorn still, and like you say, it's all these little 1% that you can do that add up, you know.
Exactly, 100. This is what we're talking about. It's like from our coaching stuff, I had that kind of little slogan: 1% better every day. It's like you just look for those little 1%, and everyone was wanting a quick fix. But the fact of the matter is that you have to be in it. You have to be in it long enough to get that frustration, hit those glass ceilings, lean into those glass ceilings until you find that 1% that breaks the glass. Yeah, that's how you kind of transcend levels.
Absolutely. So. You're taking us up to the point where you just started going to Bad Company, and like obviously I said before they started recording, I'd done a little bit of research and listened to some other stuff that you do, and one of the things that really stuck out for me was that you never had a holiday through your 20s and early 30s. Is that right? Yeah. And all that annual leave time. Obviously, you've got the gym now, but when you had the job at the railway, I think it was it? Yeah. You'd take all your annual leave and you'd go off to Thailand and really kind of like, you know, go all in on it, really submerge yourself into a camp. I'm really interested to know what that was like, and you know, how long did you stay out there for, and you know, how was essentially living like a pro?
Yeah, so we had a couple of long stays out there, like where take kind of sabbaticals from work. So it was in a bit of a weird stage. I know there's some bother going on with the railways at the moment with all the strikes and everything. But we went through a similar thing back in the kind of 2000s, where essentially for the people working on the shop floor, nothing really changed. You just changed the name above the door, and that was about it. But as it worked out, every time we changed company, they renewed the contracts, and all the contracts said that you was allowed a sabbatical. And so like every time we renewed the contract, I was just leaning into that opportunity to go, right, okay, I'll press reset. We've got the reset button. Okay, have another sabbatical. Let's get out to Thailand. So I did a couple of long stays out there alongside all my annual leave stuff. And one of the things that I did was I kept the loyalty. Loyalty is a big thing with me. Like you build your friendships, you build your loyalty, you build your network, and then this is it. This is how things happen. I mean, a lot of people go out to Thailand and they'll kind of chop and change and cherry pick and a bit like kind of pick
between mix. Different gyms or
yeah. So they'll go out to different gyms just so they get an opportunity to train with different people. And I mean, it's social media age. Like, I'll train with so and so. I'll train with so and so. It's like they go across so many different fighters, but then you're just kind of skimming the surface. One one of the things that I had, like, through this loyalty that I had with Jitty and one of my other trainers, Rajasak, these two guys were the kind of bee's knees, and every now and again you'd get into training, you go through the full training session. One of the Thai guys, all the Thai's mates, would turn up at the gym, and so after training, he'd call us over and say, "Oh, I want to show my mates this little technique and this, that, and the other." And then all of a sudden, you'd get this like knowledge bomb of technique dropped on you. While he was jabbering on in Thai, you got to experience what it felt like to be on the receiving end of one of these like fantastic techniques. Yeah. But this is where we get that kind of, I call it the martial arts rub, because we can talk about it. You can explain it, you can show it, you can photograph it, you can video it, but there's nothing quite like feeling it. You feel the impact, you feel the balance, you feel all the kind of unwritten things around the technique, and so you feel
you're living it.
You're in it, and you're immersed in it. Yeah. And yeah, like a couple of times I was on the receiving end of some of these techniques, and it was pretty powerful.
Again, that's how you learn, right? Do you know
exactly.
What I mean? That's how you learn.
Yeah.
So,
this is it.
I suppose, like you said, you had that loyalty to your coaches out there, and by doing that, they were then able to understand you as a fighter, understand you as a person, and actually help you progress a lot better. Now, if you'd have been going to, one gym, one visit, and then another gym, another visit, they would have had, the second gym would have to learn about you again, learn about you as a fighter, and these guys already know, so you could be able to progress a lot faster by, like I say, by keeping that loyalty, and they're able to help you a lot more with that.
This is it.
Absolutely.
This is it.
And I suppose, well, like that no distractions thing, being out there, like you say, it was the time before social media and stuff, really, I think, I'd imagine, and no distractions, just fully focused in, and like, I suppose that probably taught you about the value of going all in on something.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I said, social media is a distraction. It's one of my little bugbears as a coach. Is that like you'll be like, you'll teach someone some technique, and then they'll get on and do it and go and do the pad work, and then say, right, okay, swap over the pads, and then as they're swapping over the pads, so you see a couple go off the mat, grabbing a quick drink. As they're taking a quick drink, oh, just check my phone. Oh, check my Snapchat. Check my notifications. Yeah. Oh, I've got a notification. I've got a message. I'm like,
yeah.
Immerse yourself in the training.
Yeah. I don't, have you seen that Bisping documentary yet? Have you watched that yet?
No, not yet.
So I watched that, and that's one of the things that he says on there about like going to these different gyms to train at, and he was talking about some guy, I forget the names, but they built their own facilities just so they can train in peace and quiet. He said there was so many like tourists, if you like, just going there. He said, and it just kind of took away from the real rawness of lads and like I said, getting together in the gym and just training, and just being absolute warriors and going against each other and just pushing each other to new limits. So there's too much distractions and phones and social media and that lot, and it's just ruined the vibe that they were going for, really. So especially when they were trying to prepare for a fight.
I mean, like I say, it's just kind of distractions. It's like in the when you're getting ready for a fight, like you're at the event, you're in the changing rooms, you get a lot of, like I say, a lot of tourists, a lot of spectators. People want to see, I got backstage, I got to see him in the changing rooms, and then going out telling all the mates, bragging to the mates that they've got in the back and all this business. And it's like, okay, that's fair enough. That's one point. That's one perspective. But as a fighter, as a coach, you don't need those distractions.
No.
I mean, like for me, in this last fight, I felt what it felt like to be the difference between being a 20-odd-year-old lad that's had no other distractions. When you're in fight mode, you're ultimately selfish. But then now doing that again with two kids and having my kids come into the back, how it softened me.
Definitely.
Like I could feel like dad mode kind of kicking in when I saw my lads, and I was like, just stay out there, lads. Like just let me be. I need my head to be in the right space because I'm about to go to work and I'm about to drop some savagery.
And again, that must be quite a difficult thing to do, to switch between, like, you know, a ruthless warrior that's goal is to stove somebody's head in, to switching back to dad mode, to going straight back to wanting to, you know, absolutely destroy your opponent.
But I mean, like I like my movies, and one of the things is from training day, and he says, like, to protect the weak, you have to fight the wolf, and to fight a wolf, it takes a wolf to catch a wolf. Yeah. Well, like in that process of turning yourself into that wolf, into that beast, don't lose yourself. Like there's a danger in that. And I think one of the things is that, like, yes, okay, it takes a wolf to catch a wolf, and you need to increase. You don't metamorphosize into that wolf, into that savage beast, because you can't carry that savage beast back into family life. Yeah. What you have to do is say, right, okay, it's not a change, it's a growth. So we increase our bandwidth. So just because you can access the brutality of fighting just means that you've increased your bandwidth, which also means that on the flip side, when you increase at one end of the bandwidth, it increases at the other end of the bandwidth. So now you appreciate, right, okay, I can go deeper into love and affection. Yeah. And so it makes you a more wholesome human being. You need, like, and yeah, okay, I talk a lot about bandwidth, and there's kind of normal socialized bandwidth, things that are kind of expected. But as a fighter, you're doing things that are on that cusp between that's some aggressive sportsmanly behavior. That's too far. That's unsportsmanly. And there's ethics and beliefs around that. And this is when we start kind of leaning into that kind of mindset, values and beliefs of what the individual is, and going, right, okay, well, that's a little bit naughty. Yeah, yeah. And so this is what we're saying, is that's the balance.
Yeah, no, absolutely, makes sense. So I think there's quite a lot of, like, a lot of the Thai fighters seem to be very philosophical sort of people. Is that stemmed from, like, them Thai roots?
Yeah, so I would say so. I mean, there's certain kind of social norms and levels of respect and stuff like that. So, like, showing the bottoms of your feet is disrespectful. It's the lowest part of the body, and therefore the head is, like, that's the lowest part of the body. The head's the highest part of the body. The head's sacred, so you don't go over and, like, rub the top of the head of a little kid. You don't point to stuff with your feet. When you go into the temple, you don't sit cross-legged, otherwise your feet are pointing towards Buddha. You kind of sit kneel down, so your feet are pointing towards the back of the room.
Isn't that weird though? But it's fine to launch your foot round the side of someone's head.
Well, and this is it. So probably one of the most disrespectful things that you can do in Thai boxing to a Thai fighter is push kick him in the face.
Right.
However, there's not that same sociology in the UK, in the West.
Yeah.
So like, a push kick to the face is a savage technique. Yeah. So it's a badass technique. Yeah. So you probably don't, like, open Pandora's box by doing that in the UK, but you'd certainly do that in Thailand. You push kick someone in the face in Thailand, then they're coming all guns blazing, and they're going to be looking to slice you up with elbows and everything. Wow. And again, this is another kind of social norm thing. When you're opening that kind of Pandora's box and people elbowing, Thai boxing is a way of life. It's a profession. People can earn a living from that. There's a gentlemanly kind of agreement, gentlemanly conduct thing. Like I won't elbow you unless you elbow me. And as soon as you elbow me, right, okay, that's all deals are off, right? Okay, I'm slicing you.
Is that
up.
in most fights then, or is that just like now and then? Or is that,
Well, that's like as soon as there's more on the line.
Okay, yeah.
As soon as there's like titles on the line, or
you're getting an elbow.
as soon as the pressure and the heat is increased. Then that's when it's, because the thing is that as soon as you cut someone with an elbow, that means it's going to take longer for them to get back in the ring. It'll need the cuts to heal and everything. But generally, like a black eye, a dead leg, getting winded, okay, you can get over those in a week.
So like, because that's the thing, they have like an extraordinary number of fights, don't they? Like you see like a pro boxer's record, 30 fights, and towards the end of his career, he's had like 30, 40 fights, etc.
Yeah.
And some of these guys are in the hundreds, aren't they?
Yeah. So when you're having like the Thai lads, they're having 100 fights by the time they're 10.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, they grow up with it. Like as soon as they can walk, they're fighting. Yeah. And the thing is that they'll probably build up a lot of experience and probably fight every week. I mean, probably the closest fights I had over there. I fought Lumpini on the Friday night, and then I fought again on the Monday night down in Phuket. That's like the closest like two fights.
How was your recovery between that? Did you feel okay to go on the Monday?
Yeah, I came through the fight on the Friday. Didn't really have any injuries. Like shins are a little bit sore, but you build up that condition, you build up that that strength, that recovery process. Didn't have any injuries. So that was on the Friday night. On the Saturday afternoon, I was on the bus. I got the overnight bus down to Phuket. Gets to Phuket at like 6, 7 in the morning. Promoter met us at the bus station. Carted off to the hotel, dumped the bags, have a little kip at the hotel. On the Sunday night, was on the back of the pickup truck, driving around Phuket, where they're doing all the promotion. Standing on the back of the pickup truck with these fake belts and everything, and going, oh, tonight, super fight tomorrow night, and like all these like weird PA system.
So it's huge. Obviously, it's huge over there. But is it, to put it in kind of comparison? Like, what is it comparable? Is it like watching the Premier League over here? Yeah.
I mean, but it's literally pretty much every night. So the two big stadiums in Bangkok are Rajdamnern and Lumpini, and they kind of work against but together with each other. So they'll have alternate nights. So you can go to fights pretty much every night of the week, and Rajdamnern and Lumpini alternate the nights, and that's the mecca of Muay Thai. It's the cream of the crop. It's the very best. So to put that in context, it's like if every city had a stadium, you get to be the champion of that stadium.
Okay.
Then there's a regional stadium, and then like as soon as you win your city title, then you fight at the regionals. Once you fight at the regionals, then you work up your way up the rankings at the regionals, and then go, right, okay, the scouts from the capital then come, oh yeah, he's a good fighter. Let's get him down to the capital. And then when you're at the capital, there's probably like 5 or 6 big stadiums, and then you kind of find your pecking order through that. And then once you're winning titles at those like capital stadiums, then you go on to Rajdamnern and Lumpini.
World title shots and stuff.
And yeah,
to work towards that.
Yeah. So generally, there's like 3 or 4. There's quite a few different associations, but there's only 2 that are inclusive of Thailand. So there's like a lot of European associations, a lot of American associations, and their world titles are the whole world excluding Thailand.
Right. Okay.
But there's WMC, World Muay Thai Council, and WPMF, which are inclusive of Thailand, which include all the top Thai fighters, which include all the top, the biggest names in Thai boxing.
Yeah.
And so there's like, so as soon as you win one of the kind of excluding Thailand world titles, the Thais go, oh, okay, this guy knows what he's on about.
Bring him in. Yeah.
Come play with the big boys.
Yeah.
And then you work your way up.
Cool. So you're getting ready for a fight. What did a daily routine look like for you? Because obviously when you were doing, obviously you just had a fight just recently, but I'm talking about back in the day when you were challenging for and winning world titles. What would a sort of a regular day look for you? Because obviously you had a regular job at that point.
Yeah. So fighting in the UK, I was fighting under Bad Company Gym.
Yep.
Over in Leeds. So obviously there's a bit of travelling involved up and down the A64. And then also fitting in my work. So I'd work at the railway from 7 through till 4. And that was like my daily schedule. So I'd be up at like 5:30, get my son out for a 4-5K run, get out, and then it wasn't about the duration, it's about the intensity. So I'd jog and measure my times, and then as we was ramping up towards the fight, the aim of the game was just beat your time, just beat the clock, simple as. And so it became a faster and faster loop doing that 4-5K run. Then so I'd up at 5:30, out for 5:45, back for 6:15. Have some breakfast, quick shower, get changed, get off to work, start work at 7. Then through my work, generally towards the back end of my career, it was an office job, so less kind of physically taxing. So that meant that I could push myself higher at higher peaks through my like morning run and evening training, because I had the kind of sedentary recovery process going on at work, which was handy.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And then kind of monitor my calories through the day. So okay, when you're working in an office and there's cream cakes and donuts getting handed out, you're like kind of having to.
Well, that's one thing I was actually about. What was your nutrition like back then? Was it kind of just like, I'll eat what I want because I'm working hard enough, or did you have like a set nutrition plan? Were you guided in that through the other fighters, or was it just kind of just winging it yourself?
Yeah, so there was a lot of winging it myself, and kind of stepping on the scales. Right, okay, I'm too heavy. I'm eating too much. Cut it back. And there's kind of, probably looking back now, I could have made it a hell of a lot easier if I'd have had a nutritionist, if I'd have had someone to help us out on that front. But all I was really kind of monitoring around that was the calorie targets,
and hitting weight and stuff like that.
Yeah, just to hit weight. And
like I said, you think that you probably could have gone even further than what you did if you'd have had somebody kind of guiding you through actual performance nutrition. It's kind of, or do you think you've,
I mean, I was on the cusp. I was pushing limits.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a pretty intense kind of guy. So I mean, I was always on that cusp of pushing more and willing to put myself to a point of like calorie deficit. Oh, I've just got no energy. Like, oh, you're Thai boxing, right? Okay, switch on. Yeah. And leaning into the kind of adrenaline and leaning into the kind of the mental states in order to hit those peaks.
Yeah.
So I probably could have made it easier if I did have a nutritionist, but there wasn't anything around back then. So I kind of I had to educate myself around nutrition, and then once I started working out kind of calorie targets, BMR. Oh, what's this BMR thing? Oh, base metabolic rate. Okay. Oh, that's how many calories you burn. Like if you just laid in bed all day. Like, I burn calories just laying in bed. Fantastic. Just eat less. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, yeah, you don't get the training benefit then. So it's better. Yeah. So you have to do that. Oh, you burn calories by digesting food. Like, wow. All right. Okay. And so it was through this process that it was kind of light bulb moments going off all the time. And then under getting that, it's a kind of gradual education and gradual drip feed of information. Which then became, right, okay, I can make this easier. And this, again, it comes back to this 1% better every day, 1% more knowledge about how I'm applying my nutritional knowledge, how 1% better about how I'm beating my time on my morning run, 1% better about how I can recover. Okay, so if my nutrition's on point and my sleep's on point, the two probably most important parts about recovery. Right, okay, what else can I do? Oh, get a sports massage. Oh, hey, I like this sports massage business. Oh, that one hurts a bit. Oh, I've got a little niggle. I've got a little injury there. Okay, there's the nice side to the sports massage, but then there's also the little niggles when you've got an injury.
Yeah, do you know what? I think that through my bodybuilding, I don't think that was an area that I took us, let's not say serious, but it's not certainly an area that I focused on as much. There's a recovery side of things. Yeah. Like I'm so into that now.
Yeah.
Into that now because I fully understand the benefits of it.
Yeah.
I really wish that, when I was 21, 22, I'd have fully understood the benefits of good quality recovery and, maxing out sleep and hydration and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I've got my Garmin now. It does like heart rate variability, measures like stress levels and measures your quality of your sleep and monitors like your step count.
Absolutely.
And
I've got I use the Aura ring.
Awesome.
And it's like, as soon as I wake up in the morning, first thing I'm doing is, what was my sleep like last night?
Have
I recovered? Am I good for the day?
You start geeking out on it. It's good.
It's good. It's interesting, like, isn't it? You're able to measure it. And again, it just brings that level of self-awareness because, wow, I thought I slept all right, but it's saying that I was actually awake here and there. You're going to make that extra effort to try and get that earlier night the next night, or you need to just back off on training a little bit today, or whatever it might be. So it's interesting. And like I say, stuff like that certainly wasn't about when I was doing you were doing what you were doing. So you worked your job at the railway till 4ish, and then what was
till 4ish, and then it was on the schedule. It was getting done. It's one of those where like suffers a magnetic. As soon as you sit down, I can have a rest. Yeah. No, okay. It was get home, dump the work bag, pick up the training bag, straight in the car, and so there was no let off. There was no I didn't give myself that opportunity to sit in that sofa and get that magnetic attraction. I can't drag myself off the sofa to get myself to training. It's like, right, it's on the schedule. It's getting done. Yeah. So get home. Dump the work bag, pick up the training bag, get changed, do whatever I have to do at home, get myself off to training. Then, as a general rule, it would be around a kind of 45 minute drive over to Leeds, over to Bad Company, and then so I'd get there for maybe like 5:15ish, and then we'd have a little play because the class started at 6. Now, like you say class started at 6. I could have had that like an extra half hour, just kind of chill out on the sofa. But that's not in my DNA. That's not in my makeup. So I got over to the gym. If there was someone there, I'd have like one of my good training partners, James France. He was always turning up to the gym early, and we'd just play spar. We just play spar and just like no gloves, no shin pads. We'll go through and we'll play sparring.
Just putting those little extras, like you say, them little 1% in, and over time, they compound.
Exactly. Yeah. And this is one of the things. So, and then when I was coming back from Thailand, I'd share these like little ideas. And then he'd go, oh yeah, I like that. Oh, what if we do this? Oh, what if we do that? And then it was kind of like a little lab, like lots of experiments going on, lots of playtime, and enjoyment of being in the sport. And like I say, if you're not enjoying it, then you're not doing it right. Like you have to enjoy it, and it's that enjoyment of, right, okay, so this is how I can make that happen. This is how I can make that happen. So, right, okay, that can be our little secret. Don't tell anyone else. Just wait, like, see if you can land it in sparring. And then when you land it in sparring, then that's what you feel what it feels like at a more intense level. Then we share it. And this was like the big mixing pot that we had over there. I mean, there was probably like 5 or 6 of us that were between the like 55 to 70 kilo weight category. There was a lot of us that were up at that kind of UK number one, like top of the UK rankings around that time. There was a lot of kind of high level guys there to be involved in that mixing pot, and it just went kind of strength to strength.
Yeah. Having that power of community of top level guys around you is only going to bring you on.
Synergy.
I suppose it's similar to, like, say, why you go out to Thailand. You want to be surrounded by people that are all on the same mission as you. And like I say, if you're lucky enough to find that in your gym in the UK as well, you guys are obviously going to spur each other on, and you're only all going to get better off the back of it. And so that was your day. So it's a 5:30 start till what time you get home?
So
9:30ish.
So
like
generally what I'd do, like I'd have that kind of 45 minutes before the class playing around. I'd do the class from 6 till 7:30, which was led by Richard Smith, head coach. And he'd either direct us towards kind of sparring, pad work, drill work, or I want to show you this one little trick. I want to show you this one little sequence, this one little strategy. Right, onto sparring. Let's see if you can implement that in your sparring. And so there was focus, there was task. It's not just kind of getting in there and just beating the crap out of each other.
Yeah, you would do everything you would do had a reason behind it.
Yeah. And then like train to finish off at like 7:30. And then like when everyone else was kind of getting changed, I used to like just kind of getting around people in the changing rooms. Like, okay, you guys get changed. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to do some kettlebells. Yeah, just do like 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes kettlebells. And for me, that was just, I'm going to have a little play with this, with my kettlebell. And around that time, there weren't much around kettlebells out there. I actually started there's a thread on the Men's Health Forum forum page specifically dedicated to kettlebells. I started that in about 2002.
Right.
And it's still running.
Still going.
Yeah, there's like thousands and thousands. Like if you've got any questions, just dive on there and the answers are there. I was that weird guy that was turning up at Fitness First with this 12 kilo ball of metal with a little handle on top. People were saying, "Oh, what's that little silver little handbag that you got?" Like trying to take the piss. And I was like, "Oh, it's just my kettlebell." It's like, and I just used to take it everywhere. Like whether it was down Fitness First, whether it was over to Leeds, like a simple 12 kilo kettlebell, but so adaptable, so fantastic, and just dipping in and out of it every now and again. And so I used to do like half an hour kettlebells, and then change room's clear now. I can get changed in it. Like it's not as busy. I get changed, then in the car, home, have something to eat, and then I'll be in bed for probably 10ish.
And so you're talking like a 5:30 till 10, pretty much every day of the week.
Yeah.
And like you said, that was, again, we spoke before we started recording, that was the days before social media. Yeah. That was the days before you could put your hashtag, working hard, grinding, put in the grafting, do you know what I mean? Like to get all them likes and people blowing smoke up your ass. You were doing that because you genuinely loved to do it.
Exactly.
And that was your passion. Yeah. Absolutely.
Then on so that would be kind of Monday to Friday. Then on a Saturday, we had close links with Master A's gym over in Manchester. Now working on the railways, one of the benefits of working on the railway was I've got a free rail travel. So I used to jump on the train over to Manchester, a 2-hour train journey, to have a 2-hour training session in Manchester, and then 2-hour train journey back, and just did that every Saturday as well. And so that was
how hard was it to kind of keep that routine? Was it tough, or did it never really feel like a chore because it was something that you were passionate about?
Never felt like a chore. It felt like I was enjoying life. I was using my body as it's supposed to be used. Like we're designed to move. We're not designed to sit in an office like 9 to 5 all day and then just be sedentary and that kind of thing. Once you start paying attention to how your body moves, then you start recognizing, right, okay, well, what are the nutritional benefits? Right, okay, well, once you start eating clean, you realize that some of this clean food there's not much taste in it. And then all of a sudden your palate changes, and then all of a sudden you can taste more in the lettuce that you eat. And like people that are into drinking water can tell the difference in tastes of water. Yeah. It's like, oh, that's tap water. Oh, don't drink tap water. Yeah, I like my mineral water. And it's like, you can tell the difference. Yeah. And then because your palate changes.
100%, yeah.
And it's one of those where all of a sudden you start going, well, there's a reason why these things taste so good, because there's so many additives in it. Okay, well, we're trying to get that dopamine hit. You're trying to get that sugar fix.
100%.
And all of a sudden you're going, right, sneaky food manufacturers, you're just trying to sell more food by giving me that dopamine hit.
Do you know what, right? When I was doing the shows, I would diet through the week, and then I would, the coach that I was working at the time said, you can have a meal off. You can have a cheat meal. And, I basically cram as much food as I could into a 4-hour window. And then I would feel like shit the following day and so on. But I would be constantly thinking about, got to get to Saturday night or Sunday night, whatever, I got to have that food. And one of my mates, he was doing it, and he didn't take a cheat meal. I was like, how is that even possible? But like literally I thought, I'm going to try it. Yeah. And as soon as I tried it, I started winning things, because it's ruining, a full week of calorie deficit ruined in 4 hours on a Saturday night. But I found that literally after a couple of weeks, again, like you say, that palate changes, and I wasn't craving it anymore. Yeah. You cut the crap food out, and also you don't miss it. Yeah, you say, you really start to appreciate good quality food, and how like I say, it tastes good. Do you know what I mean? You feel better off it. It's, it's just so much better than just, like I say, them trans fats and processed crap and, stuff that we think that we really love. Certainly when you've gone through a period of eating clean, you can see how shit it makes you feel. These
sneaky food manufacturers want to sell more, sell more cream cakes, sell more trans fats.
Well, it's like, but that's that Pringles thing. Once you pop, you can't stop. You literally can't stop. It's so fucking addictive, man. Do you know what I mean?
That's a hell of a strapliner. A marketing genius has come up with that.
Fucking right. Do you know what I mean? And it's like,
because not only did they get the kind of nutritional thing where you're getting the chemicals in it that want to make you eat more, but also you've got that hypnotic thing, like mentally, once you pop, you can't stop. Once you pop, you can't stop. Once you pop, you can't stop.
Yeah, that's right, isn't it? It's right. It's crazy. So let's go on to your confidence, okay, and your self-belief. Obviously, you've got to have a certain level of self-belief to become a world champion. Is that, have you always been confident in yourself, or is that something that grew over time, or was it, like I say, we're just a naturally confident guy, or explain how your level of self-belief kind of expanded? And I suppose at some point you will have known, you fully believed in yourself that you were going to be world champion. Like, what was that pivot point? What was it that kind of tipped you over the edge with that?
Okay, so this one may take a while. Looking back, as a kid when I was at school, I used to get bullied. I was pretty badly bullied to the point where in my first year of secondary school, I got the shit kicked out of me, and kind of lost some friendships through that, and I realised that, like, for the other 4 years of secondary school, I was a bit of a loner. And that could very easily tip into, oh, it's a sad story. Oh, I feel sorry for you, this, that, and the other.
You're going to go one way or the other.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing is that, okay, I found my independence. I found comfort with myself. I found that through that bullying experience, yeah, okay, some people are twats. But on the flip side, I've got the confidence in myself. Now that didn't happen overnight. It was kind of a message that went alongside it, and so instead of knocking around with loads of people, I was a bit of a lonely kid. But it taught me that I can do this shit by myself. Like, I'm not going to rely on anyone else. No one else is going to help you. You have to do it for yourself. So if you want it, you have to go out there and make it happen. And so when you're in that mindset, you're going, right, okay, well, I'll still knock around with the rugby lads and stuff like that. And I had a couple of rough times with some of the rugby lads. These things happen, like, and you grow from that. But even after losing fights, losing like challenges and stuff like that, like, they don't even need to be kind of physical fights. Sometimes it's psychological fights. Sometimes it's verbal bullying. Sometimes it's kind of all these things that kind of knock you down. At the end of the day, it's one of those where you go, right, well, even though that happened, I'm still here. And then it was one of those where you're like, right, okay, well, I'm still here. Oh, I survived. Right, okay, what's the next challenge? How could I have dealt with that a little bit differently? Right, okay. And then you grow. You grow as an individual. You grow as into what you want to be.
And I think asking yourself the right questions is important. And again, kind of like being mindful and stuff like that. If you're not asking yourself questions, you're not growing.
Yeah, yeah. And like I say, I may not be the sharpest, and I don't have that kind of quick wit and stuff, and it's one of the things that's kind of gone along with it. But on the flip side, it's going, being able to put it down as you turn into a bit of a stoic, or you turn it around and go, it's a knobhead. Okay, there's quite a few knobheads out there, but then there's some close networks that you have around you that you build relationships with, and then you recognize who's on your side, who isn't on your side. And when you look around, you'll probably have it. There's probably 5-6 people that you lean into, but
if that,
there's probably, like, I think your Facebook friend list is maxed out. It's one of those. You got loads of people that want to be your friend, but none that are in that kind of inner circle.
Absolutely.
And so you go, right, you start recognizing the value in relationships. You recognize that value in the emotional intelligence and people that you can be vulnerable with. You recognize the people that have got your back when you're up against the wall. And it takes a lot to kind of go through that. And like I say, yes, through that process, it taught me that I can do this shit by myself. There was a lot of gratification in being able to stick 2 fingers up and say, look at me now. Yeah. Oh, look at me. I just won an English title in Thai boxing. Have it. Oh, hang on a minute. I'm still grinding hard. I'm still training hard. Oh, I've just won a British title. Have it. Moving on. Still training hard. Still working hard. Boom. European title. Because I'm immersed in that lifestyle and not getting dragged back by the negativity. And so it's like, where do you want to put your attention? And energy flows where the attention goes. So if I'd have fallen into that, oh, he called me weak. Oh, maybe I am weak. Maybe I'm shrinking. Yeah. Or you call me weak. I'm going to show him. And that little bit of grit, that little bit of determination, that little bit of going, you know what? I'm going to prove him wrong. Yeah. It takes a certain amount of grit to be able to do that. And I think, I was brought up in a nice household. Like, my parents are still together. Like, parents had good jobs and stuff like that. And I was brought up in a nice environment. However, the people that were giving me a bit of grief, I can say quite a few of them weren't in such a nice family household, or been in the right circles, or been in the right environments, and they had rougher upbringings, and it was more of a power struggle. That's why they were trying to knock me down, or to try and build themselves up. But that's not how I work. Like, good people bring good people on. And if the only way that you can make yourself feel good is by dragging other people down, then you're not the champion that you say you are. And so this is the idea. So you recognise that building people up is the way forwards. And so, like, balancing that thing between kind of confidence, network, support, loyalty, values, beliefs, stoicism, mentality, everything else. It's not like confidence isn't this kind of quick fix thing that's automatically there. You can learn it, and as you learn it, what you find is that it starts being one of those kind of learned experiences, and it can be a learned experience, even to the point where could be fake it till you make it. Now, some people like that, some people don't, because it feels false, but it's your behaviour that replicates that.
I was going to say, confidence, it's got to come from your ability to do the work.
Yeah.
If you're doing the work and you're putting the reps in, and you've just explained what your daily and weekly routine looked like, and you were living that life, taking yourself off on your annual leave to go and fully immerse yourself in there, you were doing the work, and that has to breed a certain level of confidence.
It got to the point where I was going over there, and I would say to the Thai trainers, so don't treat me like a Westerner. I see how you treat the Thai kids, and you give them a hard time, you're shouting at them, and you're being absolutely brutal with them. And I see how you are with the Westerners, and you're laughing, you're playing, and it's more kind of light-hearted. It says, I want to take this seriously, and I want you to treat me like a Thai.
You're not here for a holiday.
Yeah. Well, one of the joke things was the Thai kids would say, Rishad, no holiday. Yeah. I was like, what? Why do you, like, I don't think the Thai kids could understand, like, why do you choose to come over here and do this on your holiday? It's like, this isn't a holiday. This is hard work. This is grind. It's like, the Thai kids turn around and be like, I've left my parents up in Buriram. I get put through school down here in Bangkok. I train on the morning. I go off to school. I come back from school. I train as a Thai boxer. I fight on a weekend. I earn money from the fights on the weekend. Then I send the money straight back to my parents. And you want to do this shit for fun? Yeah. It's like, yeah, because I enjoy it. Yeah. It's a buzz. And this is where the enjoyment side comes into it. This is where it's only been through my coaching process that I've been able to kind of distill down what the kind of psychology is behind it. And it's been that search of flow. It's about being in the moment and having the right reaction at the right time. And so everything flows smoothly. It's the dopamine fix. It's that kind of adrenaline and endorphins when you win. It's the pain pleasure thing. You're getting kicked, but then you're letting a kick go back. You're enjoying the battle, but then as you get more and more into it, you get more and more internalized, more and more intense. You realize that it's only ever you against you. So, I flinched. All right, okay. Why did I flinch? Why was I scared of that? Because it hit me hard. Okay, do I need to toughen up here? Because my process is still the same. The block is still the same. And so you then go, right, okay, what do I need to work on as an individual? What do I need to work on from an enjoyment perspective? And what do I need to understand, like psychologically, that's going on with like inside my body, understanding about kind of the neuroscience and the hormone release and everything else that's going on. And this has been my kind of coaching journey as you understand more and more about what's going on inside the body and the biology of what's actually happening.
Yeah. So no, totally. So like obviously, like I say, it's that ingredient of all the things that you mentioned there that come together to build your confidence. Was there ever a certain point when you thought, I am undoubtedly going to be world champion? Was it when you won the European belt, or was it as kind of a culmination of just the journey you're on, and you could see that in the future was a world title for you?
When I first walked into Rajdamnern Stadium, that'll have been around 97, 98. Walked through them curtains. I was walking in ringside. I could smell the Thai oil. I heard the crowds cheering and appreciating the sport and the art form that was going on in the ring, and seeing those guys at an elite level. I was like, wow, that's where I want to be.
So you went in to watch a fight first before you ever... Okay,
yeah. And that was very, very early in my Thai boxing career.
Got you.
Like, this is the shit. This is awesome. Like, this is where I want to fight. Wow. But this is like the mecca of Thai boxing. This is like the highest high. This is the very best that you can be. This is better than any kind of World Cup. It's better than any kind of Premier League or anything like that. Like it is literally the cream of the crop in the world. Can I make it? Okay. Well, I have to be in it to win it. When I made that choice of moving from training in York to training over at Bad Company, my coach Richard Smith, he asked me the question. He says, well, the question is like, do you want to be a big fish in a little pond, or do you want to be a big fish in a big pond? Because like you grow to your environment, and so like it would be very easy for you to be a big fish in a little pond if you want to continue on the amateur circuit as it was back then. Or we can be in it for a wider market in like the professional fighting, and fight under the pro rule set. There's more fighters on that circuit. You can be a big fish in a big pond if you want it. And obviously went for the big fish in a big pond because it's goal setting. And then went to when I've been to Rajdamnern, I was like, okay, well, this is what the elite guys are doing, right? Okay, copy the elite guys, and it's like NLP modeling, like, oh, that's what he's doing, I'll copy that. That's what he's doing, I'll copy that. All right, okay, what's that coach saying? Right, okay, I'll listen to him.
Success leaves clues.
And then this is it. You start searching, and like I say, you have to be in it in order to pick up those small nuances, those small little gems, that little kind of trail of thought, that trail of success. And after my first world title fight, I thought, I lost it. I was in the build up to the fight. It was all kind of going to plan. My fight style kind of matched with his fight style. My coach over there thought that I had the edge because I was a little bit more disciplined with my diet. I had a slightly longer frame. I had a reach advantage. Thought that it was going to work out. I was boxing him up, beating him up, winning the fight, threw a body kick, left it there a little bit too long. He caught my kick, pulled me in, elbow, sliced up my forehead, gushing. It took 13, it was gushing about 1.5 foot out of my forehead. It was like, referee waved it off straight away. That was it, all over. It was on the 23rd of December. And I was on that was at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. I was on the 10 p.m. flight out of Bangkok to get home for Christmas. So I was coming home on the plane. My forehead's starting to swell. The stitches are pulling at tugging at it. It was probably the most brutal flight that I've ever been on. Just kind of limping my way back through. I had the cut on the right hand side of my face. I had a cut here and a cut on my eyebrow. When I walked out of at Manchester, I got met by my girlfriend and my mum that were stood on my left. As I walked out, they were like, "Hi." Dear God, what's happened to your face? You're like all sliced up, big slice up my forehead, one on my eyebrow. And I was like, yeah, I lost. And I thought, maybe I don't have it in me. Maybe I've found my level. Maybe like that's as far as I'm gonna get. And then it was one Saturday. I'd just taken the train over to Manchester. I was walking through Piccadilly Gardens. I got a phone call. Liam Harrison, he was in Thailand at the time. He said he got Jitty on the phone. So I was like, all right. Says, I've got you another world title fight. Can you get back here in October? I was like, 100%. I'm there. And as I was walking through Piccadilly Gardens, I saw it was a Lucozade advert. Kelly Holmes on it. And it says, people said I was too old. People said that I couldn't do it. People said that I wasn't at that elite level. Then at the bottom it went ... Fortunately, I'm not a good listener. And I was like, I got goosebumps. I was like, I'm there. I like maybe that wasn't my time. Maybe I needed to earn my right in order to progress. Maybe that's what I had to go through in order to step up to this championship level. And that's what I had to do in order to get to that level and earn my right to progress.
So between that moment of getting the phone call, seeing the advert, that kind of that light bulb moment, was it then just fully tunnel vision on October?
100%. Yeah.
And that's that little mindset shift that happened right there in Manchester Piccadilly Gardens.
Yeah.
It spurred on to the second title shot, which you were underdog going into that.
Yes,
right?
yes. So
I suppose it kind of goes back to that Luke's Heard advert. They told me this, they told me that. Yeah. And you've got that underdog mentality. Yeah. You prefer the underdog role?
Now, I don't mind either.
Yeah.
I feel more settled. I feel more complete. I don't feel as though I have to prove anything anymore. And I think that kind of comes with age. Back then, I like that. I like that underdog position. A level of expectation brings pressure. But that underdog position, saying, "Oh, you're never quite good enough." I like that. I like the idea of turning around and going, "Look at me now."
Absolutely, yeah.
And
you can tell yourself these when you're doing the 5 a.m. runs and stuff like this. You can kind of tell yourself that story as well. Do you know what I mean? And you're telling yourself stories that are driving you on and pushing you on further. And I think, I always like that. I think it was a good place to be. And it's that thing in it, the wolf that's climbing the mountains always hungrier, and the one that's sat on the top. And I think definitely. having that sort of mentality, you know, like say if you can channel it and you can focus it,
it's good.
Become unstoppable.
Yeah.
So talk to me about that. You had your second title shot. That was in the October 2005, was it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you went in underdog, but you managed to win.
Yep. So basically went to been through all the training process. We'd had probably so I think that was around the start of August. So I'd had maybe all the way through to the back end of September to prepare in the UK. So like the runs had got more intensive, the pad work had got more intensive sparring. And so I got over there and I was already in kind of good shape. And then I had the kind of Bangkok treatment that like there's a saying about being kind of Bangkok ready. Like you get to a certain level and maybe like you're not as, like I said, when you've got life to live over here, there's more at play. You need to be able to kind of put those blinkers on and go, right, okay, I'm going to lock myself away. I'm going to go into that kind of totally selfish mode and get on with it. So I got over there at the start of October. Then everything kind of is volume based. So like your morning runs, it went from like doing a 5K run in the UK before work to like maybe, well, it was 3 kilometers to the park. Then we'd do like maybe 2 or 3 laps round the park. So that's 12K. And then a 3 kilometer run back to the gym. So you're doing like a 15, 18K run each morning from 6:30, 7ish in the morning through till like 7:30. And then when you get back to the gym, you then go into sparring and a bit of bag work, a little bit kind of lower intensity in the morning. It's just putting that grind in and putting those like mat hours in. Then after morning training, then you'd have breakfast. Then so from like 10 a.m. through till 3 p.m. was like your 5 hours kind of free time. When you train at that level of intensity, those 5 hours are normally sleep. I'd kind of mix and match that with like go for like a Thai massage or something like that, but like in between. But then get back to the gym, get your head down for a couple of hours, and my alarm clock was the school kids coming in, picking up the Thai skipping ropes, the big thick rubber ropes, and like hearing that like as they're skipping, that was my alarm call. So I then get up, quick shower, like warm myself up, like try and cool myself down a little bit because it's like 3 p.m. in Bangkok. You're talking 32, 34 degree heat. It's boring. Then you're getting out.
And how long did that afternoon session last for?
3 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, so you do like 3 till 6.
And that heat didn't probably drop that much?
Not that much, no. So you'd have like probably 30 to 40 minutes of skipping, then into 5-6 rounds of pad work, a little bit of bag work, then probably maybe like 45 minutes to an hour's clinch, then finishing off with 500 sit-ups, and then 100 chin-ups.
And so obviously this was leading up to a world title fight. So how hard did they push you like that up to the fight? Was there like a rest period before the fight where you kind of come down a little bit, or are you doing that shit the day before the fight?
Well, like you probably get to maybe have because there's a closer focus on hitting weight, then you'd be have the like running in the sweatsuit and things like that in the Bangkok heat, which obviously is a benefit. So like a little bit of dehydration and stuff like all the way through that final week. Then, so that's when you see the kind of the cheeks suck in and the eyes sink in the head as you're having that kind of controlled dehydration, in order to kind of hit weight on fight day morning.
So you weigh in on the morning.
So you'd weigh in on the morning, and the weigh-in was at 7 a.m. at Lumpini Stadium, and then the fight was in the evening, probably would have been around like 9, 10 p.m.
My name's Colin Wiseman. I'm on week 11 of the Transformation Programme with Stuart Garrington. Been tough, but it's the good type of tough that when you realise all your mistakes for the previous year of eating too much and drinking too much.
I'd just say whatever your goals are, it gets you there. I set out with this as a 12-week programme, and like I say, I plateaued for 10 months, and within 3 weeks, I'd beat my expectations.
I've had to have surgery during the programme, but we've not changed anything. We've just changed the programming slightly. It's been great all the way through it, so yeah, I'd recommend him 100%.
It's one of these things, I think, if you give it a chance and have a bit of self-discipline. I'm into the 5th week now, and I literally feel the best I have done in years, to be honest.
Tell me about the fight itself then. How did that go?
So gets to the weigh-in, and sees my guy. My coach points to who my opponent is, and he's sat there. His skin's looking grey. I go over, sit by the side of him. Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, like introduce myself, shake hands. I was like, oh, so how are you feeling? He says, oh, I haven't eaten for 3 days. I was like, excellent. It means he's going to be weak.
Yeah. Was it a Thai guy that you were fighting?
It was Iranian.
Okay.
But he was Iranian, but he was living in Bangkok at the time, and it was well known on the circuit. He'd fought at a high level throughout. Fought Rajadamnern, fought Lumpini, fought some big names, and it generally kind of fought around the 72, 75 kilo weight category. But he boiled himself down in order to hit this 67 kilo limit. So yeah, like I looked at him, you could see it, you could tell how dehydrated he was, and his skin had kind of gone a bit greyish, and he's like saying he hadn't eaten for 3 days. I was like, this is all good news for me. Yeah. Like, excellent. And then that was it. We both made weight, happy days. Gets off to the left him, he goes off, comes back to the show that night, and I was like looking around. I couldn't see this guy anywhere. I was looking around for him before. Like, where's my guy? Like, let's give him a little bit of focus, and I couldn't see him. But I one of the things that I did see, I saw his bigger brother. I was like, that looks like him. He's too big. He'd balled himself down, balled himself into oblivion. And after the weigh-in, he'd probably put on 10, 12 kilos, or like within that 14-hour period in between. Absolutely insane. He looked like a giant. I was like, wow. We kind of stood in front of each other, and it was like this. Yeah. Like, that was him, that was me. Like, I was looking up at him. He was like, it must have been probably 6'2", 6'3".
How good is that for you though? Like, to try and move, there's a lot of fluid that you carry in there. Do you know what I mean? I know obviously you're like super compensating and filling the muscle glycogen out and stuff like that, but like, there must be a lot of fluid still sat there on the joints. That cannot be the most easiest to move.
No, I mean, I've been through good weight cuts. I've been through bad weight cuts. And when it's a good weight cut, everything comes back on. It's like instant body, just add water. Okay, cool. But then when you go through a bad weight cut, you don't put the weight back on properly. Your stomach feels heavy. You feel lethargic. I've fought weight drain before when I've been dehydrated. I had to keep the weight off for another 24 hours because my opponent didn't turn up and then flew. And I was so dehydrated that when I went to when I went to flex my muscles up, like my blood was that dehydrated that I couldn't actually activate the muscle. And it would just like, everything would just flop. Even when I was tensing against it, it was like, what the hell's going on here? Like, I'm in a bad way. So I've been, like I said, been through that. Well, it came into the fight, and like one of the things that my coach said at that point is that he's going to come bombing, he's going to come hard early doors, but like because he doesn't have those glycogen stores, like his energy is going to wane off pretty quickly. You just stand your ground, hold your form, keep your balance, and try and weather that storm early on. Weather the storm early on. Had a big round 3. I started to put the pressure on him in round 3 in the clinch. Chucked him a couple of times. Got a couple of good throws in round 3. Couple of big elbows in round 4. And then it was that kind of tipping moment in that fifth and final round. He threw a big body kick. I leaned back out of the way. Big kick across his back, and with that, I didn't even have to listen to my corner. The guys that had all been betting on me, like the betting, the gambling scene over there is absolutely insane. People put loads of money on us. All the betting crowd erupted, and they were like, "Hey, teep, like teep, push kick, keep him away. You've done enough to win." They're like, push kick, keep him away, like protect your win. And so then the only thing that kind of went through my head then was look good, keep your style, like protect your win, look good, disengage, keep your distance, manage the distance, stop him from scoring back on me. And then the bell went, and that was it.
And you knew when the bell had gone.
As soon as the bell went.
So it was a points decision.
Yeah.
But you just knew.
Yeah. And it was the, like I say, it was the betting crowd that were like gave us that kind of clutch moment. Like when it comes down to it, like on a long enough timeline, there's always that one like tipping moment. There's always that kind of clutch moment. Like which way could it go? If I'd have gone greedy straight after that, the body kick across his back, he could have scored back on me, and I could have given it away. Because Thai scoring can be kind of a bit in the balance. Like Thai boxing is judged on balance and effect, and composure. And there's this thing called Roop. So Roop is your, like say, your composure, how well you hold yourself. It's how you walk, how you move. Now, if I'd have shown any degree of sloppiness, laziness, like tiredness, fatigue, or anything like that, then you can give it away just by looking tired. And this is what I was saying. Like as soon as I heard those guys shouting, keep them away, like look, all I was saying was look good, look strong, like hold your form, keep your balance, keep your composure. That's how it kind of played out.
So I mean, obviously, you were pretty sure that you'd won.
Yeah.
But obviously, there's always that element of doubt. Like when they said your name, like what was that feeling?
Oh, it's like I had a Thai mobile phone. It was like one of those old Nokias. And I had a text message on my phone. The guys in the UK had got the Thai Global Network. It was filmed on Thai Global Network. Liam Harrison had a Thai girlfriend at the time, and had it set up for Thai Global Network. So all the lads had been round at Liam's house to watch a fight, and he caught the moment of me going, I can't fucking believe it. And he sent me a text message like, I saw you mouthing the words, I can't fucking believe it. Like, well done, mate. That's awesome.
Is it a relief? Is it like just an excitement? Is it I think for me when they called my name at the universe, I was like, that's it. They can never take that away from me. I won Mr. Universe. That's mission accomplished almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah. I mean, it's everything. It's excitement. It's elation. It's completeness, but not completeness. Because the thing is that, okay, it's a peak performance. Okay. Now the challenge starts. How long can you stay at the top? Like
it's a different game.
Yeah. Now people are coming hunting you. So it's like, right? Oh, yes, I can't believe it. Like it's that kind of tick in a box. Like, well done, welcome to the club, type of thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, on Goodfellas.
Yeah.
When it comes out of court the first time, you say you did well, you didn't rat.
Yeah.
Welcome to the club. And he's like, yeah, you broke your cherry. It's that moment where you part the club.
Yeah.
And then like, so looking back across like former champions, former names that have held your belt, puts you in that same league. So people like Satmon Cole, Nita from Japan, Liam Harrison won it the year after me. Who else? Toby Smith from Australia. Like all these guys have won that 67 kilo world title belt.
The best of the best.
And so it kind of puts you in that bracket. You part of the club.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. So obviously you came home from Thailand, and I think it was just after that you decided to start up Star Performance mindset coaching.
Yeah.
So obviously to start a business, you must have really value the importance of mindset. Why was that something that you put such an emphasis on and decided to create a business out of it?
Because I felt it myself. Because I recognise that even though I'd put in all this physical work, there was a lot of other work going on up here. You had to be in the right mindset in order to believe and have confidence in the techniques that you were being taught and shown and delivering in the gym, and then being able to carry that into the arena. It's all to do with mindset. Everything is mindset. You can't do anything without the right mindset. This is why I like when I worked at the railway, one of the funny things that they used to say is like people would come in and see how big the workshops were, like the delivery drivers and stuff. I was like, bloody hell, I didn't realise this place was here. It's massive. It was like, how many people work here? And there's about half of them. It's that thing.
Yeah.
Like you turn up and there's people that get in there and work, and then there's people that are there for attendance. And it's like in the gym, you'll recognize it yourself. There's people that turn up and they maybe don't stack on the weights as much. Yeah, they'll look for an easy ride. It's like, but then they get the tick in the box. Like, oh, I've been to the gym. Yeah, but did you go to the gym?
Well, it's very much like that with the social media now. They get the like because they recorded one set that they did.
Yeah,
but like, I'm looking at it thinking, you've got so much more in there.
Yeah,
you can do so much more. And like you say, they don't want to push themselves beyond that limit.
RPE. Yeah. Rate of perceived exertion. It's like how much effort are you really putting in? Are you putting in 100%? Like one of the common things that they used to do with the interviews at fights, I always used to laugh because whatever they were interviewing, I didn't speak much Thai, but I could always pick out 100%, 100%. Like they were always 100%, whether it was believing in themselves, how well they prepared. Like I didn't know what the answers were, I didn't know what the question was, but I always picked out 100%. Like they were like 100% in there, and it's having that belief of being able to put that effort in. Like how much do they know the right answer, but did they actually do it?
Yeah.
And this is the comparison.
Yeah. So obviously, like say you started that, and was that the coaching business? Was that for regular people? Was that for fighters? What was the? Why did you want to start it? Was it to just kind of get guys that had been in your position that wanted to excel as fighters, or was it just for general population that wanted to improve the mindset and smash their own goals?
When I went through all the training courses and stuff like that in order to get the actual qualifications, I found it strange that, like, they were talking about mindset, they were talking about internal dialogue, they were talking about the things that people say to themselves. And I was like, doesn't everyone think like this? Why wouldn't you think like that? Why would you set yourself up to fail? Like, I didn't compute that. Like, I thought everyone thought the same. And obviously people don't. And one of the things is that, like, that winning mindset, it leaves, like we've been saying, it leaves those clues. It leaves those kind of that little trail of crumbs. And that trail of crumbs is a very fine line. It's not like a 6-lane highway. So when I realised that, I was like, all right, okay, well, what can I do? Well, saying that I've been through the bullying stuff when I was younger. I've been very insular, very introverted. Got to the point where I was saying, well, what do I need to do in order to succeed? And I finding my own way. I wanted to be the voice of, like, what I needed when I was going through that process. So when people have been through that process, it's like, right, okay, what would I want to help me when I was going through that time? A sympathetic ear. Right, okay. Well, there's sympathy, and there's a difference between sympathy and empathy. And it's that kind of sympathy. It's like being stuck down a well. You're down the well with them at the bottom of the well going, oh, we're in this shit, we're stuck down here in the well. Whereas empathy, you can be at the top and go, oh, I can get you a ladder. Oh, if I can help you, I can help you get out. Do you want to get out, or do you enjoy being in those depths of that emotional hole that you're in? There's secondary benefit. So the secondary benefit is that you drag more and more people into that world because you're getting so much sympathy, but then you're getting the attention. So it's a question of, well, are you happy with getting that attention of being stuck down the well, or do you want an answer? And this has been one of my kind of personal issues of fact, like finding the balance of recognizing, do people want that help, or are they happy with that secondary benefit that they're getting attention? And it's a tough call on that sometimes.
Yeah, makes sense.
So yeah, like that's one of the things. And so, like, truth of the matter is, like, do you really want help? Do you really want to get out of this? How much do you want to get out of it? Like, I really want to get out of it. I'm fucking pissed off here. Energy. That there's a depression. There's a lack of energy when you're looking for sympathy. It's like you become an energy vampire. Yeah. But then as soon as people get pissed off, as soon as people get angry, there's an energy. Channel that energy, you direct that energy. Right, okay, now you're on that pathway. Right, we direct that energy. Right, okay, I'm going to prove these guys wrong. I'm going to put in that work. I'm going to get out on my runs. I'm going to hit these pads harder than I've ever hit these pads before. My challenge is that these pads are made to be broken. And when I got that one off, it was a basketball thing that I got that off. I can't remember the name of the basketball player, but he went over, he dunked it, and he smashed the backboard. And it was like, whoa. Yeah. And then when he landed, when he was interviewed afterwards, it was like, these things are made to be broken. It's not a backboard to just bounce the ball off. Like, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to slam it, I'm going to smash it, I'm going to dunk it in his ass. Right, okay. Well, how do I translate that mentality into Thai boxing? Right, these pads are made to be broken. Like, these are the best pads in the world. Let's see if you can break them. And every time I was kicking the pads, I was seeing if I could break those pads. And this is that kind of energy that you start bringing to it. And so when it's channeled and it's directed, then that's when you start making that progress out of the hole by putting in the work.
Yeah, no, absolutely, mate. And like you say, there's be lessons in there for your regular people, quote unquote, regular people that you can take from that. Essentially,
well, I mean,
their challenge might not be to break their pads, but the challenge might be to take it from like what I do. You could be to lose that stone, or it could be to get that promotion, or to have a better relationship, or whatever it might be.
Exactly.
But you got to push past what's in front of you, essentially.
Yeah, and so it's the thing about fighting is that there's immediate feedback. So I throw a punch, I overcommit, I get sloppy with my technique, I get countered. In life, there's a longer time lapse between the mistake and the punishment. So that can also breed a little bit of kind of anxiety and overthinking, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. That's living life, and that it's taking risks. But these metaphors, that's what it's all about. So recognizing the good, recognizing the bad, recognizing your win, recognizing your growth and your development. Like Thai boxing is a metaphor for life. We're in there, we're in a battle. And yes, okay, it may be manifested against somebody that's facing us, trying to hit us back. But when you internalize that, it's only ever you against you, and you against your own reactions, what your instincts are. And you may not be in control of your instincts, you may not be in control of your flinches, but how you flinch is then dictated. So like if you throw a punch at someone, they flinch, close their eyes, well, the punch is going to land. If I throw a punch at someone and they go parry, keep their eyes open, see the target, I overcommit, that's a better way of reacting. So all training is just nurturing those reactions. So how do we then carry that metaphor over into life? What are your reactions? What's your instinct at that point? Yeah. And so this is how you kind of carry over these different mentalities into behavior. And it goes, like saying, it goes both ways.
No, it makes a lot of sense, mate. It makes a lot of sense. So how highly do you rate like visualization and stuff like this? Because one thing that I would, for myself, would always do when I was out doing my cardio, sometimes I'd find myself and I'd kind of just like come back and I was like, oh, literally just picture myself winning. Then, do you know what I mean? And I didn't realise I was doing it, but I was so like really in the moment, and I'm just walking along the street and like, fucking, I'm back in the room. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I just got off to that place and I'd visualise it, I'd think about it. Even when I was doing the Thai boxing, like you say, I was 15, 16, 17-year-old, whatever, I used to watch like Bloodsport and the kickbox on gone to HMV, got the video as it was back then, and I watched that before, and like you say, it just kind of, you'd visualise, yourself doing it, and every time I watched Bloodsport, I would have I'd get my push bike and go down to Barbican on a Monday night, 8 o'clock, and a great session. Yeah. Because my mind had changed from, I can't be asked to do that. It's like, I'm going to win the Kumite. Do you know what I mean? So it was like, in Thai boxing, is there a big part for that? Do you visualise yourself in that ring? Do you visualise yourself with the opponent? Do you visualise yourself winning? Did you ever do anything like that? Yeah. Everything. Like, I love visualisation. I love
future pacing success. And I mean, you can play with it. You can visualize failure. You can visualize being hit. Well, then that's that cusp moment, that switch moment. Like, visualize being hit. What's my reaction? How do I react? And then you can play with so many different eventualities. So it's like a river delta fanning out as a series of options in front of you. You can play with all these different visualizations in front of you. So yes, okay. Everyone likes to think that the visualization, the mind coaching process is only focusing on success, but there's a time and a place to warrant visualizing how you're going to react to it if you get tagged, if you get hurt, if you get clipped. Okay, like, now what do you do? Oh, I don't know. Then that's when you're going to fall into default. You're going to default back to an unprogrammed response. And that unprogrammed response is then going to show people, he's hurt. I recognize that sensation. I recognize that look in your eye. I recognize that limp, that changing gait, that changing alignment of your hips. He's got a dead leg. That leg's gone. And I do that in fights. When I'm cornering my guys, I'll be able to tell when they're starting to get success. They'll be chipping away with a low kick, yeah. And I'll be able to tell when that kid's leg has gone before my guy recognises, even before the other guy recognises. Like, because I see the changing gait, because he's not as attuned to switching on to what signals is given away. Fights are a game of show and tell. You're trying to tell them one thing and not show them anything.
How hard is that though when you're really hurt in the ring? Like, what does your mindset have to be at that point when you're super hurt and, like you say, you cannot show any weakness?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's tough. It's tough, but like I said, this is the benefit of visualization. I mean, I've been hurting quite a few fights, but then it's a question of what your reaction is after that. So what's your reaction after that? Right, okay, what I'm going to do. I've been cut with an elbow. Fuck. Oh, I've been cut. Right, okay. Keep moving, keep your guard up. Put a little bit of pressure on it. Right, okay. Right. Everyone else has seen that I'm cut. They're going to score that cut highly. Right, okay, how can I switch their perception of what the impact of that cut is done, not only physically but psychologically? Generally what you tend to find is that the first time that people see their own blood, they shrink. Yeah, like when I see my own blood, I know that I have to work my ass off in order to score back, and the main task is the fight. It's not about the cut. It's not about my feelings. Yeah, fuck the feelings. Get on. You've got a job to do. You've got some work to do. So, right, how can I work my way back into this fight and score back? Well, and it's understanding the scoring criteria to the impact that it has. Maybe being cut.
It's like a game of chess then, in a way. Do you know what I mean? I suppose, and that must be quite difficult. There's a lot of thinking to do while getting booted in the face and elbowed and just your own, cardio system getting worked and the heart rate going up, and that's a lot to comprehend. And to have to think strategically about what the next move is.
And this is what we were saying about those 45 minutes of playtime. Those 45-minute touch sparring before training, like going through loads and loads of repetition, and people think that fighting it is just aggressive and hard. Like through those 45 minutes of touch sparring, we would probably hit each other about that hard.
Yeah.
But what you're saying is, right, okay, that impact that we've got there, that would be a big right hand. That would be a solid punch. Well, all we're doing now is we're playing And so we're getting loads and loads of training volume without injury, with potential risk, but no injury. Visualization of risk and an impact, but no injury.
And create their movement patterns.
So then,
and stuff like this,
then you build your reaction, you build your response. You see where you're vulnerable. You see where you're maybe not so vulnerable. You can set traps. You can play games, and that's the enjoyment of this kind of shifting stance thing. And like a lot of times people don't have the. But a lot of times people think that it's just warfare and just having a scrap, but all the good gyms play a lot of touch sparring. There's like hours and hours and hours of touch sparring, just playing the games. And yeah, okay, like if you don't understand how to play the game, then touch sparring can be a bit boring. It's like, oh, go on, just kick me. Yeah. Like, I want to feel the pain. Well, you don't want to feel the pain because then it affects your training.
Yeah.
So we build those modalities, we build those muscle memories, we build those reactions so that you learn that a slow punch and a parry here, okay, when I program to do this, even when you jab faster, boop, boop, I can reset and I'm back into my guard.
About having patience as well then, a lot of things. And, you know, everyone kind of wants everything yesterday at the moment, don't they? Do you know what I mean? But it's
the instant download generation.
Yeah, exactly. But if you're going to be great at anything, you need patience. You need to take that time, like you say, to put the reps in, to do the sparring, to learn the basics and stuff like that. And without that, and trying to skip ahead too far, you're never going to actually achieve, you know, the high levels.
This is it.
So obviously you had your first world champion for the first time. You never actually lost that. You got stripped of that. Because you couldn't get back to Thailand. Is that right?
Yeah. So I mean, they wanted to. There's a fast turnaround to the fight business over there. They couldn't comprehend the fact that I wasn't a full-time fighter. It's like, how come this part-time guy is winning world titles? Like, you only train like before and after work. Like, really? Like, how? And not realizing like there's a determination there. There's a time management issue there. There's a being able to layer in that discipline. And yeah, okay, it's probably one of the benefits of being solo, being like being a bit selfish and looking after myself and having that lonely lifestyle. Oh, poor me. Fuck that. You're getting on. You're doing work. Yeah. And that's one of the benefits. Is that yeah, okay, we're lonely. You've only got yourself to worry about. Okay, what are you going to do with that time? Yeah. We've all got the same amount of time in each and every day. It's just
I think anyone that's elite at anything or successful at anything has to experience a certain level of loneliness and isolation. Yeah. Whether it be that you're putting time into sport, a business, whatever it might be. A lot of certainly the people that maybe I grew up with are not on the same journey as me. Do you know? I'm very lucky. I had a great bunch of friends that just understood and just like, okay, cool, you're dieting, we'll see you in 6 months. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And it was great and fully supportive. But, you know, like you said, there has to be that time away from them to be able to go and do what you want to do. And like you said, not everybody understands why you won't want to be in the pub every Friday. Yeah. So
well, I mean, one of my friends says that when his mates start quitting on him coming to the gym, he knows that he's getting to that elite level. Yeah. And that's his kind of ticking a box. Like, oh, we've found his level. We found his level. Right? Okay. Who wants to push harder? Who wants to grind a little bit more? Yeah. And you have
to be totally focused on what you want to do.
Yeah.
You know, there has to be a certain level of sacrifice, and there has to be a certain level of just, like say, pushing up. Because if everyone was with you every step of the way, then they'd all be World Thai champions. You know what I mean? So
this is it.
Absolutely.
And you're right to progress.
Yeah. So they took they stripped the belt off you because you couldn't get back.
Yeah.
How did that feel?
I understood the business. It was like, okay, fair enough. Like the good thing, I never lost it.
Yeah.
And so like, all right, okay, I can't get over there. There was a level of acceptance to that. I couldn't get over it as soon as I wanted to. And so it was just a logistical problem as opposed to a skill or level problem. I never lost it. So did I really lose it? Oh, well, just got stripped, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. So, but then you got another chance. So how far after the so you won it in the October 2005, you say?
Yeah.
And then they stripped you when?
So that'll have been at the start of 2006.
Okay, yeah. And then when was the next shot?
So we got an opportunity in 2007.
Did you have many fights in between then?
Yeah.
Over here?
Over here through bad company.
Okay, cool. So you got your second shot.
Yeah.
How did that go?
I won.
Yeah.
It was on the King's birthday. It's the biggest crowd that I've ever fought in front of. It was on the King's birthday. 100,000 people in Sanam Luang Square, Sanam Luang Park.
That's incredible.
And yeah, like basically was on the runway walking out. Like there's a big stage, big picture of the king and stuff like that. You walk out, you bow to the king, bow to the dignitaries, walk out on the runway. As I was walking out on the runway, it's about probably 3 foot up. So walking on that runway, you could see out across the crowd. And people are there with like the little candles and with like cardboard at the bottom. Massive fire risk with 100,000 people. But it was beautiful. But you couldn't see where the crowd stopped. It was amazing. It was probably a like 70 yard runway up to the ring, and then like Sanam Luang Park in front of What I Run. It's one of the that's What I Run.
Okay.
On the top here.
Yeah.
So that's the Chao Phraya River. On the other side of What I Run is Sanam Luang Park.
Okay.
And yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah. So you beat the guys at stoppage, or was that a points?
That was on points.
Was it the same again? You knew that you'd done it, or were you not too sure?
I was a lot sharper than him. I was faster. I always had an answer. It was an angry Russian that I fought. It was Alipdek Magomedov from the Magomedov family, like illustrious group of Russians that were back and forwards from the Thai gyms back to Russia and back and forth. Like I'm not sure whether they were like Russian mafia family or whatever, but like they came knowing that the Magomedovs were like the real deal.
Yeah.
They're absolute fucking savages. And yeah, like for Alipdek Magomedov, who was an angry guy, and it was really heavy punching, really heavy boxing. It knocked out quite a few Thais with his boxing, and the run of the fight basically was me left kicking him into oblivion. So every time he was trying to throw the right punch, I was timing my left kick beautifully, and just kind of relentless body kicks and just outpointed him through the whole fight.
Cool. Got the win.
Yeah.
And then that was taken off you again. Same reasons.
Yeah, three months later,
Yeah.
like not fast enough turnaround.
It's tough. You got to pay the bills at home as well.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So
yeah. And then where did you career go from there? So that was 2007.
Yeah.
It wasn't till 2010 that you retired. So
Yeah.
was it just more local fights, or did you ever go back to Thailand and fight after that?
I've been out to Thailand a couple of times. I fought for my second European title in 2008. That was in Dublin. I fought a guy called what's his name? Doyle. Can't remember his first name. And yeah, that was for the IKF European title. And again, there was another kind of tipping point in that that kind of psychological switch that happened. I knew that it'd been like it'd been out to Thailand, and it had quite a few fights out in Thailand. He fought at Rajdamnern and had fought at Lumpini, and it was like, right, okay, it's a tough fight. And even though it's a European title fight, it's going to be very kind of Thai stylish. So gets in the ring, but both made the way. That was at 64 kilos, and yeah, basically gets in the ring. Getting ready, took the gown off. I looks over at him, taking his gown off. He's got a big tattoo on his back, and as I looked over, I could see that he was sunburnt. I was like, he hasn't been grafting out there. He's been holidaying. He's been sunbathing. Like one of the things about when you're in Thailand. When you're over there as a holiday, yeah, you go out, you sunbathe. But the thing is that if you go sunbathing, then it leaches your energy. It makes you tired. It like really drains you. And so the fact that I saw that it was sunburnt gave me that massive boost of confidence. As soon as I saw it, like, he hasn't been grafting. He's been having the busman's holiday. He's been partying. Like I've sent a couple of guys out to train at Jitty Gym where I train, and one of the guys he's actually living out there now, Adam Hoffman. He was talking to Jitty, and G turned around and says, yeah, like, Richard's the only one that didn't get sucked into the Bangkok lifestyle. He didn't get sucked into the party lifestyle. Like, one of the only Westerners that's been out there that didn't go off partying and stuff. And that sends a strong enough message. So whenever I'm sending people out there, that Jitty knows that they're being well schooled, they're being well looked after, been well taught, and so it kind of sets that benchmark.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. So you decided to retire in 2010. That was when your first son was born.
First son were born. Yeah.
So and you stayed in retirement for 12 years.
Yeah.
Until a month or so ago, was it?
Yeah. So May 28th was the fight.
Yeah. So what on earth possessed you to come out of retirement after 12 years to take another fight?
It's always in here, isn't it? One of the things was that so I've been through a bit of a rough time through lockdowns and COVID and stuff like that. I mean, it hit all the gym owners really hard, and not only that, but I had a bit of a kind of mental health wobble. Like at the time, it was talking around about 85 grand's worth of debt that was hanging over my head. I was looking around going, well, there's nothing much that, like, people aren't going to give us 85 grand, like, everything's kind of shutting down. My gym's at risk, my family's at risk. The way that the company was set up meant that if the landlord didn't get his 85 grand, he could come after my house, could end up homeless. Like,
a lot of stress.
What we're going to do? I started down a silly chain of thought, thinking about life insurance fraud and stuff like that, and like get a big insurance policy. Then I can look after my family, keep the house, and draw a line under it. I was looking around at other options. I was looking at other jobs, and put myself in that kind of a situation. Get earning so that I could pay the rent on the gym and money worries and stuff like that. And then when I was on LinkedIn, one of my friends, Henry Berry, who runs Theory B business consultancy, I'd seen that it was asking around and saying there's a lot of stress going on at the moment. If anyone wants some free consultancy, come and have a chat. I was like, Henry, I sent him a message like, Henry, I'd like to take you up on your offer of the 3-hour consultancy, and we'll take it from there. He was like, Rich, don't be silly. One of my friends, come and have a chat. But I'm going to deal with you as a client, not as a friend. We had a chat, got down, like corrected my skewed thinking. Fortunately, everything kind of worked out, and kind of got myself back in the game. It was a worrying time because I'd got to the point of rationalising and planning it and stuff, and just because I'm a mind coach doesn't mean that I'm immune to mental health issues or skewed thinking. Or like when the stress is that high and going through all these difficult times, it's fucking horrible.
Yeah.
And came through it, recognise it, like, right, okay, what else can we do? What are the alternative options and stuff like that? Started to get the gym back on track and started pushing the online content, ramping that kind of stuff up. And they, like, even now we've got people that are coming back saying, I carried on paying my membership all the way through lockdown. I was like, mate, I nearly fucking lost my life.
Yeah.
Scary time.
Yeah.
But that's what we put on the line as business owners, as gym owners, and that kind of thing. Started to kind of go down that route. Started to get all the online content back online. My missus, she was on it. She had the plan and the protocol. She worked around it. She was absolutely fantastic. We was banging out like 3-4 online sessions a day. We did over 300 sessions in 3 months. It was an absolutely insane work schedule, and we kept ourselves open through lockdown. Mm-hmm. I then recognised that I needed to focus on some things and focus on myself and set myself some challenges. And so I started doing these like Facebook challenges. How many press-ups can you do in a month? How many burpees can you do in a month? And as a disciplined guy, as soon as I set the schedule, it's on the schedule, it gets done. So you get up on the morning, right, I've got 110 burpees to do. That means that I'm going to be able to complete my 3,000, 2,000 burpees in a month. And I was doing it, get up, like blast it out, bit of a workout, get those endorphins going, happy days, yeah. And it was getting to the end of the month and it'd be like, there's no buzz, there's no completion, there's no win. It doesn't feel like a win. It feels like a tick in a box, like attendance. Like I'm not about attendance, I'm about pushing these levels. So then fights started to happen and promotion started to happen, and one of my friends down in Birmingham was putting on a promotion. Started asking for fighters, knew that I had some fighters, tagged me into a Facebook post. The guy at the top of the list was Diego Colzolari. former 3 times world champion, fought some illustrious names, fought Namsak Noi, fought Lam Namoon, fought some absolute, an insane level. He was 44 years old. He'd had 45 fights. It was age appropriate. It was challenge appropriate. And when I got tagged into it, as soon as I liked it, the phone starts ringing. I was like, all right, Yogi, how's it going? Yeah, I'm good. Is there any particular reason that you're liking that post? Can we tempt you? I was like, what? I was like, oh, fight Diego. I was like, give me a week. Give me a week to pull the gloves back on, get back in training, like see how it works. At this point, I stepped on the scales. I was 91 kilos. I was way out of shape. I was like 20 kilos overweight. He said he wanted to match it at 70 kilos. So I had 21 kilos to lose in 18 weeks. And yeah, basically got back in the gym, messaged the guys over at Bad Company, says I want to like step up to the challenge. Like quite a few people are saying, you fucking lunatic, what are you doing? I was like, got that buzz, got that itch. Like it never leaves you. And it was one of those where, right, okay, well, this is the schedule. It's on the schedule, it gets done. Right, okay, well, what's the schedule? Let's work out a plan. So pulled in a few different people, like strength and conditioning coaches. I worked with Kia Bascombe over at G2. I worked with Don Heatrick, the online strength and conditioning coach. I looked after my own nutrition, and then my own mindset and visualization and the personal challenges and stuff like that. All the technical content back to Bad Company. Working with the guys over there, so there was Richard Smith, James France, and and Joe Craven, and all the guys over there that were pushing me technically, physically, and everything else. Stepped it up, started sparring. First week, got knocked out. I got knocked out in sparring. I was like, fuck, that shouldn't be happening. I've a bit off more than I can chew.
Had you already committed to the fight at this point?
No.
Okay.
I was like, get back on the horse. It'll be right. Like, we've faced challenges before. We'll face them again. These challenges come and go. The question is, are you going to quit? I'm not going to quit. Mr. C doesn't quit. I don't quit. Like, if I'm in it, I'm in it. Got back, said, sent Yogi a message. I'm doing it. Like that challenge there was a tipping point. Again, another clutch moment. It was that tipping point. Like I thought, I'm gonna show them guys. Like they've given us a beating, trying to scare me. They're trying to scare me out of it. Yeah, they're saying, "Oh, you're not ready. You're too old. You're too out of shape. You can't do it." Look at me now.
Yeah.
Like that's I want to prove you wrong. I'm going to prove you wrong. And look, like quite a few people said, like even at my own gym, they're saying, you're 20 kilos. You're 45 years old. You can't lose 20 kilos. You can't lose 20. Like that's one of them blue weights over there. Go pick up that blue weight. Do you think you can lose that amount of weight? Let me prove you wrong. That's it. And it's that kind of cold, calm, clinical approach where you're saying, right, okay, if we're in it, we're in it. And then it's a marathon, not a sprint. So understanding about training stress, understanding how my body responds. Like as soon as I started training, I was like, right, okay, what we're doing? Right, okay, what do we do in fight training? We go for 5K runs every morning. Went out for a 5K run, fucking kill myself for 3 days. I was like, oh, my calves, oh, my knees, oh, my legs. I was absolutely ruined. I was like, listen to the like I message the strength conditioning guys, and it's like what do I need to do? Like, you don't need to be doing your 5K runs. It says you're gonna ruin your knees. It's gonna be too much training stress. You're trying to go from like being untrained, like you're an unfit guy right now. You have to embrace where you are.
Train a little bit smarter.
Expectation is a bitch. You gotta train smart, not more.
Yeah.
Okay. So then we came back, and Don, fantastic guy, he had this like Excel spreadsheet where he was kind of tailoring like training minutes versus multiplied by an RPE scale gives training stress. High days, low days, high days, low days, all the way through. Like work out where your high training stress is, work out where your low training stress is. How are you recovering? What's your sleep patterns like? And then there was all the kind of micro organization around that, because I was doing like commissioning work. I was going over to Russia and stuff. So I had like days when I couldn't train. Then I had lack of sleep and jet lag and just being tired from flying, traveling and stuff. Recognizing like, how can I get like a little bit of training stress, but not too much. Don't overkill it, don't overcook it. Bring it back down again. Get your recovery, focus on your sleep, get back in. And it's that kind of spinning plates idea where I was going from one to the other, to the other, to the other. And end up completing it. I went from 91 kilos up to the start of fight week where I hit 77 kilos. So 7 kilos in that last week was through depleting glycogen, getting food out of my digestive tract, and then around 3.5 kilos of controlled dehydration. So my weight was kind of trending down through that last week, and end up hitting 70 kilos on fight day. At that point, that was my tick in a box, like, well done, complete it. You've done it, well done. But now's the challenge, like, get out there. That's your test. And it was pure enjoyment. It was pure elation. It was as if there was no pressure. Like, everything about the preparation, everything about the build-up had been about fight preparation. It had been about, can I get myself in shape? Can I drop the weight? Can I be technically sharp and ramp up my nervous system to react and respond as I should? Because it's all well and good doing it in a choreographed, controlled environment and parrying and defending in a controlled way. But can you do it in a fight? Right? Okay, that's what these guys were doing over at Bad Company. Try to bit of a hazing. Okay, pain don't hurt. Get in there, crack on. And one of the things that I kind of think of it as is pain is just an electrical signal. Pain is an electrical signal that's going on in your body, but we wear emotional glasses to see it as pain. So pain doesn't hurt. It's just an electrical signal. And so as soon as you interpret it as an electrical signal, then you stop looking for that sympathy. Maybe a bit crazy, but that's how I processed it.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Yeah.
So got in there, and yeah, the fight's up online, and yeah, I don't think you see me stop smiling for the full fight.
And you won the fight.
I won the fight.
Yeah. Was that a knockout? Or was that
points again.
Yeah.
I don't think he'd done much research on me, because like the only training that I'd done for the past like 12 years is jiu-jitsu and wrestling. And the first 5 seconds, he dived into the clinch and I just dashed him on the floor. Okay. And from there on in, I think it was kind of, yeah. I knew I could see his style. He was trying to pressure me. Dashed him on the floor, 3-minute rounds. And so there's some stuff up on my Instagram where one of the guys, Michael Howarth, one of the greatest sports photographers in the UK at the moment. Took some brilliant pictures, and I put that into some like coaching images. Cool. If you have a look on my on my Instagram, there's some stuff on there.
Cool. Well, thanks a lot for sharing that, mate. I mean, that's obviously to go from where your head was in lockdown, you know, and to engage essentially what is that fighter's mentality and show the resilience that you showed, not just with yourself, but your business, to then progress that into actually, you know, welcoming that challenge of coming out of retirement for 12 years and to go on and, like you say, go through the process, get in shape and you know, the cherry on the cake, winning the fight as well. Do you know what I mean? It's a great comeback story from that low point in your life. And I think, like I say, I really appreciate you sharing that, because there's people that won't, you know, obviously you are, you have that elite mentality and it can still affect you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, you know, and that's someone that's super mindful about mindset, super mindful about their own body and feelings and everything like that. And it can still get to you sometimes when that stress comes on and that pressure's on. You know, we are only human after all, and to show that comeback, mate, I think it's. I'm really glad you shared that, because that's probably going to help a lot of people, mate. So, so there we are. Is that definitely it now? Is that definitely it? Or? Never say never.
Yeah, never say never. Like, the promoters tried dangling a couple of carrots already, and saying he's got another 45-year-old guy, but it's one of his own guys. So I like, to be honest, it's a show, it's a play, it's a game, it's a spectacle. It's not about building a reputation or anything. Like, I'm just like, I'll play. I'm happy to play this game, but it has to be something warranted, like a challenge that's warranted. Yeah. Like just to grow one of the guys down there, like, doesn't really kind of float my boat. I'm in a kind of I'm in a lose-lose situation with him. Like, in theory, I should beat him, and if I beat him, so what? Like, the only win that I could take from it would be a financial thing. Yeah. So he has to pay me well.
Yeah. Absolutely. So I mean, you know, let's talk about like life after Thai boxing. Obviously, you did it for 12 years without going back. But you know, how for that 12 years, how did you cope without the drive of getting up on the 5 a.m. runs? And you know, that's a big piece of your life and a big piece of your identity for so many years. That's now not there, or that wasn't there. Yeah. You know, how did you channel that drive? What did you how did you cope with that?
Yeah. So like, work hard. Yeah. Working hard. Like, I just threw myself into 100% into coaching. Yeah. And then like my engineering head and my like turbo geek mode kicked in, learning more about how the body works, and then like actionable hacks that you can use to leverage performance and stuff like that. And possibly some of the stuff that that I do automatically, like, doesn't everyone think like that? Doesn't everyone do that? Right? Okay, well, like, what are the things that I'm doing that like we can put system and protocol behind? And I spent 12 years like building my coaching and improving my coaching and improving my knowledge around that. And I've got like a white belt mentality. I've got a beginner's mentality. So I'm always searching for that more. Like, we never stop learning. So you always got to keep on that kind of cutting edge with new knowledge. Like, even this morning, I was driving here and listened to a podcast on neuroscience, understanding the systems and protocols and the mechanics of why we stretch. It's one of those where I just love geeking out. Yeah. And that's probably like my engineering background linked with my Thai boxing. But that's like I say, that's what we do it down at Chok Dee. We've got the Thai boxing, we've got the jiu-jitsu, we've got the wrestling, we've got the boxing. So being able to kind of manage that and direct it from the back. But then since my fight, I had the little kind of moment leading from the front saying, this is how you do it, this is how you pull it all together. So this is the kind of looking at it from like a LinkedIn perspective. It's either managing from the back and you're looking at systems and strategies and protocols, or you can lead from the front and saying, this is the way to do it. This is how we'll pull together all those little distilled gems of knowledge that we're trying to kind of impart all the time. And it might seem like criticisms, if you're in a negative mindset and someone's always kind of correcting you, always kind of chipping in, it may seem like they've always got something to say. But from a champion's mentality, we're never complete, but it's been held to a higher level of values than you believe in yourself. And if your guys coaching, if you're coaching guys, you're holding people to a higher level of values than they believe in themselves, then they should be inspired by that. Yeah. And that, like I said, that's what I'm doing. That's what we're doing. And this is the kind of hive mindset that we're trying to kind of pull together and build together.
Mate. Yeah, totally makes sense, mate. So, a couple of questions, because obviously we did say we were going to keep this under an hour, and we've totally fucked that. So, a couple more questions. Okay, so you're back in the Thai boxing gym. It's day one. You get to do it all again. What would you do differently?
Nothing.
No.
There's no regrets. Don't have time for regrets. These things happen for a reason. It's been a hell of a journey. I've really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed the learning, the growth, the development, the challenges, the highs, the lows. All these things all come together to that full experience, and I won't change it for the world.
Yeah, cool. Any particular, obviously, like you say, very into your self-development, constantly learning, that sort of stuff. Is there any particular books or content or podcasts, whatever it might be, is there anything that particularly, really changed the game for you that you could recommend out to other people that are wanting to better themselves and better the knowledge on some of the mindset stuff that we've been speaking about today?
I mean, understanding the mechanics of what's going on. One of my geek out moments at the moment is the Huberman Lab podcast. And Andrew Huberman from Harvard puts loads of great content out there. He's up on Instagram, YouTube. Just give him a follow and have a look. Yeah. Like I say, that's my kind of go-to, and sometimes some of the podcasts can be a bit long, and there's normally like a couple of gems in there that you can kind of use as little hacks and that kind of thing. But it's loads of good stuff on there.
Cool. And obviously you said that there was some you put some stills and stuff like that, or some coaching points on your Instagram. So what's your Instagram?
Yeah, Rich Cadden.
Just at Rich Cadden.
At Rich Cadden.
Perfect. Well, look, that is it, mate. We are done. Really appreciate it, mate. It's a cracking start to episode 1 of my podcast. So thanks so much for coming and doing it, mate. I hope that the gym goes to strength with you, and that if you get back in the ring again, I'll keep my eyes out. I'm looking forward to seeing that, mate. If not, enjoy retirement, mate. And
Thank you very much.
Certainly, like you say, achieved more than most people could ever dream of when they first step into a Thai boxing gym. So really appreciate you coming on, mate, and sharing some great insights.
Thank you very much.
Cheers,
it's been a pleasure being on.
Awesome. Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
Thanks so much for listening. Please remember to like, share and subscribe. And if you need any more information on the Transformation Programme, just hit the link below.